right. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Spacejumper. My name is Jared, and I am your host. Today I have a very special guest, somebody representing the fitness realm of this world, Miss Andy Camarillo.
Hey, I love that introduction.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for coming. I'm very excited about this because, I actually am struggling in my fitness journey at the moment too, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. But first, I would like to know, a little bit about yourself and who it is you are and what you do.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm actually from Mexico City. I just moved to Houston, I guess like 10 months ago, I would say. So yeah, pretty new.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Why'd you move to Houston?
Following my husband. He's from Houston. So yeah, he brought me here.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. He worked over in Mexico City before, or what?
No. So he has always been working overseas. So yeah, he was working in South Korea, Kazakhstan, Angola, London. So he's traveled around, and I've been to a few places with him.
Wow, that's exciting. I have always dreamed of having a job where I could travel and see the world and see different crevices of this planet, because I mean everywhere is different, and I'm sure you know probably better than I do, because honestly I've only been in the United States to a couple places, and then I took a couple cruises to Mexico, but
really?
But I never really got to, I want to get into the grit of the different varieties of how people live and things like that. So that's always been on the list to do is travel and kind of see different types of native spots and things like that. I actually almost thought about moving to Mexico City at one point in my life because, yeah, I know I have always had a desire to learn Spanish because my grandmother, she's from Monterrey, Mexico.
Okay.
And she tried to teach me Spanish growing up, and I grew up in this little country town, and I had no desire, so
Lazy kid.
I was lazy. Yeah, I was so lazy. And so I ended up not learning Spanish at all, not a lick of it.
Oh my God, that's sad.
I know. And then it pushes me to, now there's definitely a barrier as far as communication, because not everybody speaks English,
Right.
and
Especially here in Texas.
especially here in Houston, I mean, it's crazy. So having that in my back pocket would have definitely helped me out in multiple situations.
Oh, yeah. You'll see there's a lot of people from the U.S. that move there, which has actually driven prices up. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Yeah. And it's funny that you say that because the reason that one of the reasons that I wanted to move over there was to learn Spanish, put myself in a spot that forced me to learn or, just, I don't know, keep on moving. But I watched a YouTube video, and this guy, he was living in Mexico City, and he was like, oh, I'm living here for, living in this big place. He went around and showed where he lived. And he was like, I'm paying $1,700 a month. And, it looked like he was living in a castle,
Wow.
So.
Not anymore.
Oh, man, that's sad to hear. So, yeah, what else? So you moved to Houston. Do you like it?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I, of course, miss Mexico a lot. I don't like the weather here. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like this apocalypse type weather that you can have like such amazing wedding in the mornings.
Right.
And then the weather is just like horrible, like
Isn't
in
it
the
crazy?
afternoon. It's just crazy.
That's funny. The first thing I said to you today was, the weather's not too bad today.
Yeah.
But
And I'm like, well,
I know, and
it's hot.
and that's what it's so hot, and that's what's crazy. Weather hadn't been that crazy. I mean, honestly, this season is more crazy than any other season that I've seen. I mean, there's random hail coming down and totaling people's vehicles. Just putting baseball dents in it, and yeah, I mean, it's a weird time. But yeah, I guess that we'll save that for another topic because there's a lot of people that are a lot of people that are skeptical, like why is the weather acting so differently, but yeah, it's a weird time. What do you miss about Mexico City?
Well, the weather, as I just said.
Okay.
The food, of course. The food is just such a great thing there. You can find, and it's just not Mexican food. You can find like any kind, like any international food you can think about, there is just amazing. Yes,
Any that stand out?
yeah. Well, there's a lot of things, but sushi there is great. I think it's one of the best sushis I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Like sashimi?
Yeah, like rolls, like anything you can think about. It's just like if you're like a foodie, that's the place to go.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I may have to go there for vacation.
And they keep opening so many places that whenever they ask me, "Oh, where can I go?" I'm like, "Well, I don't even know what's new now. What's like the place to go now because there's just so many."
Right. Are you a big fan of like tacos, like street tacos and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into that.
Sure.
I love it. I love tacos, especially tacos al pastor.
Oh.
Those are my favorite. So if you take me to a place where it has tacos al pastor, I had to get them.
Oh my goodness. There's actually a place down here called Tio Trompo. And
Okay.
I don't know if you.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I've never been, but I think I've heard.
If you haven't been, you and your husband need to go. It
Okay.
is the best tacos al pastor that I have ever come across. And
Really?
I like food, and it's definitely one to definitely try if you haven't.
Okay, I will. I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know because it's legit. So
Cool.
There's a couple other taco spots around here, but they just doesn't have my heart like Tio Trompo. So
Yeah, I feel many places here, they're just, whatever they think it's Mexican food, it's just Tex-Mex,
yeah,
which is totally different.
it's a lot different. What are some key differences? Are you are you talking about just like in the base of like I know the tortillas are different.
Yeah, here, like, they use this hard taco shell.
Yeah.
We never do that. Do you have these, like, breakfast, like, burrito? We never do that. What else? Do you always put cheese to a taco? We don't do that.
Really?
Never. So
God,
yeah, and the
it's
food
making
is
me
just
hungry.
different. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things of actually Mexican food that you can have that I haven't even found them here.
Yeah, there's a sushi spot back home. Back where I'm from, and I mean they have some amazing. I mean, I don't know if it's because I grew up eating their food, but nothing can compare. Shout out Tokyo, by the way. Tokyo. There's a couple locations in Beaumont, but yeah, and the sake. I don't know if you're a fan of sake.
Oh no.
I'll put down some sake.
Oh no. I think I can have one and then I pass out or
Oh
something.
God, yeah, it'll do that to you. I mean, the sake that's
Strong.
and it's like a never-ending bottle. You have the ceramic
Yeah.
things, and it's like a black hole in the bottom of
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing. It's just never-ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love some sake. Do some sake bombs and whatnot. But I guess we should hop off the food. This is supposed to be a fitness topic.
Yeah, we're just talking about the bad things.
Exactly. So why don't you go ahead and so are you eating? I mean, do you have a certain regimen when you're eating and things like that?
I do. It's not like, I mean, people typically think, okay, fitness people just eat chicken and broccoli, right? It's not like that. That's one thing I would say. It's not true. If you see me eating, you're like, wow, this girl can eat. So yeah, I eat a lot. I typically eat like 5 to 6 meals a day,
Oh, okay.
at least.
Okay. And are these like small portion meals, or this is kind of up until you get full, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think it's more like portion size. I don't think they're like either too big or too small. But they just make me be full in the moment and just feel good.
I see. And are you pairing this with any type of physical activity? Like what kind of activity are you doing?
Yeah, so I do mainly weightlifting. That's my main thing.
okay.
Weightlifting, some cardio every now and then, and I love HIIT. That's what I do typically. And
High
I do
intensity
high
interval
intensity
training.
interval training. Yes,
Gotcha.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And outside of that, I'm also working, so I do a lot of things when I work because I'm a personal trainer at a gym here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's called Sigma Performance Training. So it's an amazing gym. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. There's a lot of good gyms around here, and there's a lot of good health related spots that you could be memberships of. I know I have a membership at Hotworks, and Hotworks. Have you tried Hotworks yet?
No.
Hotworks is like this. It's these small sauna rooms
Okay.
that are kind of personalized for three machines. Each machine is the same. and you get in there, and each workout is on the screen, and you have a virtual coach, and they're telling you it's kind of some high intensity interval training also.
Like in the sauna.
In the sauna, yeah. And so you could either be rowing, you could either be in a room where they have bikes, stationary bikes,
Right.
And there's a couple other ones, but yeah, temperatures rise up to 140 degrees.
Oh,
You get
wow.
in there, and each workout, each training is 15 minutes. You could book your session to be an hour and just do it 4 times, but which is what I usually do. I haven't done it this week, so I kind of feel bad about it. But yeah, yeah, you get in there, and it's pretty hectic. I mean, you hop out and your shoes are squeaking of sweat. I mean, it's a pretty intense situation. But
Sounds
yeah,
like it.
I love that. You should try that if I think they do
Yeah.
free trials and things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, you should try that. And then I have a weightlifting gym around here that I need to use more. And and then yeah, it's really it's good to be healthy. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
feel good if I'm not giving myself what I need, and that's physical activity and good food. My body doesn't react good to bad food. I still do it, unfortunately. Like, I'm sipping a Red Bull. That's not very good for me. But
I said I was gonna talk about that. I was like,
yeah, and
let me see the sugar in that.
oh God, I don't even want to look.
I don't even want to know.
I know better, so that's why we have the water here. So
Yeah.
it's a
Compensating.
exactly. So when you're eating, what is your typical meals look like throughout the day?
Yeah, well, I typically try to focus more on just what I call real food. And that's just what you would say. Just think about it like this. What would your grandma eat? Like back then, you didn't have burgers, you didn't have all these processed canned food, these all preserved food around. So it's just eating what do you think she would be eating? Which is just vegetables, fruits, meats, basically everything that you can find at the grocery store, in the fridge, freezer, etc. That's what I try to focus on. That's probably like my 70 to 80%. And the rest is, of course, like other kinds of things. My approach is more of like a balance type life. I don't really believe in any like very crazy diet. Like you see all these crazy diets going around internet, and they're just like not good for you.
Right.
Because they're not sustainable. None of that is going to be sustainable. So people tend to go to these like, okay, I'm going to do everything now, and I'm going to be super healthy, and I'm just going to eat chicken and broccoli, and I'm just going to work out 5 times a week for 2 hours. And yeah, that's fine. That's great. But if you do that from one day to another, it's not going to be sustainable for you. I always say you need to do like these little baby steps, and just from what you're doing, see where you're now, and just work from that. So at this point, I feel just trying to be healthier, just trying to make a little change every day. That's just going to be a lot better long term for everyone. So yeah, my focus on diet is just I don't even like the word diet, because that sounds
Right.
very restrictive. I just call it like good nutrition, good food, and just like a balance. And yeah, of course, every now and then you're gonna see, if you see my stories, I'm like eating a burger or eating, I don't know, I love cereal, so that's one of my
Oh,
things.
I love cereal. I was about to ask, are you doing like oatmeal and cereal and things like that?
Yeah, I do. I actually do cereal almost every single day.
Really?
But
What
I
kind of
just
cereal?
do it post workout. So your basic like cornflakes or stuff like that.
Yeah,
I try not to get the
love
sugary
cornflakes.
ones. But
Yeah. I love Wheaties. Have you
Yeah,
tried?
yeah.
Oh, man, I love
They're
Wheaties.
good too,
They
yeah.
are good. But I can't keep them in the house just because I eat them all. So
That's the thing. You need to portion things.
Right.
And I just save that for the moment where my body is that I know that my body's gonna take it like in the best way, which is just like a post workout type thing.
So physical activity, fruits, vegetables, meats. Are you have you ever tried like vegan or vegetarian or anything like that?
No, to me, that's probably one of the worst diets if you're doing it for health. If you're doing it because religious reasons or whatever, that's cool. I don't have any issues with that. But if you're doing that more because you're trying to be healthier, I don't think that's the best way to go. Just because humans were not meant to be vegan or vegetarian. I mean, if you go in one of those diets, you're always going to have to get supplements, which wouldn't really be normal if you're eating the right way.
Right.
A lot of people start feeling sick or start feeling these weird symptoms when they go vegan. So if you see the rate of people that actually go vegan and then go back to normal, it's pretty high. So yeah, that's one of the things I wouldn't recommend. There's other kind of diets that I would say you can try them and they might be good. Like, I don't know, maybe the keto diet. I would say you can do
That's
that.
high fat.
That's super high
intake,
fat, moderate protein, and almost no carbs. That's a short-term period kind of diet that I think it's good for you, but not more than 3 months.
Yeah, see, I think that that's probably a misconception for most people because
Yeah.
they try to make it a lifestyle rather than a small interval, and that leads into a maybe a more healthier choice of eating and things like that. So after have you seen or have you tried or seen people try keto for over 3 months? Like, is it?
Oh yeah,
How does that
yeah.
how does that work? How does that affect
Yeah,
the body?
there is people that even promote it as a lifestyle, which I don't think it is because everywhere you go, I mean, just to go to a restaurant, it's pretty hard to get just food that is going to be keto. I mean, yeah, you can get maybe just meat and some kind of oils, but it's super restrictive. So that's one of the reasons I wouldn't recommend it for a long time. And then the other reason is that whenever you stop eating something, whatever it is, if it's carbs, I don't know, maybe any kind of dairy products or whatever, even if you're not allergic, your body is like, okay, I'm not getting this type of food anymore, so I don't need to produce the enzymes that break it down. So then what happens when you go back and eat that, whatever it is, you're going to feel horrible. You're going to be bloated. You're going to have a lot of gas. You're just going to feel like crap because you went for so long without eating it that your body is like, I don't need to produce those enzymes anymore. So
Right.
it's actually not a good approach because a lot of people tend to say, oh, this food, you shouldn't eat this, or you shouldn't eat these other things and whatever. It's just not good in a long term for anyone.
Yeah, I can imagine that affects your internal guts and microbiome in your
Yeah.
body and things like that. So when you do make that swap, it's like it rejects it, because it's not used to that specific intake.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's I think that it's a good approach to, because for a while I did kind of around the paleo diet,
Okay.
Paleolithic eating, and focused on meats, vegetables, very low carb intake as far as grains and things like that. And I feel like that's a great way. I mean, to get your body in shape, and I was gonna get your thoughts on that. Have you seen anybody or have you tried it personally? The like paleo. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing, really.
Yeah, the thing about paleo diet, I think it's a very good approach. I just think it depends on each person. I mean, everyone is different. I
Right.
cannot say all the people need to be eating the same because it would be bad for me to say that because all our bodies are so different. To me, for example, because in paleo you need to eat a lot of raw things, it doesn't go with my type of body just because I feel my body takes a hard time to digest it when things are raw.
When you say raw, you mean like
Not cooked.
like raw almonds and nuts like that, or
Like vegetables, some of the
okay.
vegetables,
Okay.
like a true paleo diet, some of the vegetables need to be raw or like minimally cooked.
why is
So-
that? I wonder. Does the heat break down the plant in some form?
I think it's more of an approach of like a paleo diet is what like people in the past, like carnivores, would do,
Right.
and they wouldn't have where to like cook their food, so they would just eat it raw. So that's where this idea comes from.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, and I knew it was kind of based back in the day, but yeah, that makes sense. Just a very very low cook, form of eating. Well, that's really cool that you're knowledgeable on all of these diet. So I say, I guess we shouldn't say diet, but forms of eating,
Yeah, well, I have to pretty much try them before I tell people if they can do it or not. I think if I need to talk from experience. So I've done paleo for just a little bit. I've done keto diet for 3 months. And I actually stopped it. Well, I stopped it like right at 2 months and a half or something, just because I was losing so much weight. And I didn't want to lose weight, but I was just not hungry. So that's the thing about keto diet. You're not going to be hungry.
What kind of things would you eat when you were doing the keto? Like, would you eat a lot of bacon or?
Well, a little bit, not that much, because
Okay.
I'm still trying to eat. I also think you still need to keep it healthy. And yeah, some kind of bacon it's okay. But I was trying to eat more like a ghee butter, more like I would make these like super amazing pancakes made of almond flour.
Oh, that sounds great. Did you
Yeah.
find that recipe on Pinterest?
I think so. I'm not sure, but
Pinterest
yeah,
is the
they
bomb,
have
honestly.
everything.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, I would make like these with like eggs, and for lunch I would have like a super big salad with chicken and avocado and cheese. I would eat a lot of cheese back then. Yeah,
I love cheese. Life
too.
is not worth living if you can't eat cheese.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I love
I
cheese.
know, me too.
Yeah, I'll go to these like we're back to food again. How did we end up here?
We
But
always end up there.
I know, but there's a couple wine places around here that bring out these cheese boards and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Oh man, that's like the best Friday night to me. I'll go and me and a couple friends will go and grab, we'll get a bottle or two of wine. And my mouth's just watering thinking about it. Oh my God. And we'll get a couple cheese boards, and that's like living life. But have you been out and kind of explored Houston since you guys have gotten here?
A little bit. I don't really tend to go out and eat a lot because I just love eating and knowing what's in my food. But I do like to eat out every now and then, maybe like once a week or something.
Yeah, I think kind of spacing it out like that is definitely necessary, and it gets expensive too.
It gets very expensive.
3 nights or 3 nights of going out every day
Yeah.
that's it adds up.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I had to learn that the hard way. Yeah, I got here, because I got here from a small little town, and even the studio now, it's surrounded by nothing but restaurants.
Yeah.
And
I
so
saw that.
I'll go out, out the front door, and there's sushi, there's smash burgers. I mean, anything that you can even think of. So
Right.
that was a big problem when I moved here. I think I gained probably like 15 pounds when
Oh,
I got here.
wow.
Yeah, I wasn't playing, and I mean it's they have a place called oh man, what is that place called? It's like my favorite Mexican restaurant. I guess it's not, can't be considered my favorite if I can't remember the name. But it's right around the corner, and they have the best. Well, I say the best, the strongest margaritas, and so
Oh,
that's
wow.
another thing that gets me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if y'all like to go out and do the whole Tex-Mex and margarita thing, but that was definitely. It definitely roped me in and hooked me for a hot minute. If I was bored, I'd be like, I'll go get some chips and salsa and a margarita.
No.
Yeah, I know. The bad thoughts, they got to me. But what else kind of do you incorporate in your life that kind of I mean, it sounds like you pretty much revolve everything in your life around health and kind of fitness and kind of being healthy. So what other examples can you give me for to be to live a better lifestyle? Would you say that you're schedule oriented?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, I try because my job is kind of hard sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think in general, I have more of a holistic type of mindset, just because I feel that it's not just being super healthy and working out. That's not what makes you healthy. What makes you healthy, it's also your mindset. So I love reading. I think that's one of the main things for me. I love reading, just about this and just about like just about a lot of things. Your mindset, how to like relieve stress, like meditation and those kind of things. Those work a lot for me because I just feel a lot better when I do them.
Do you go to like a yoga studio for any of this meditation, or is this like at home type thing?
Yeah, it's more like at home type thing. I kind of want to get into yoga. I haven't. I don't know. I'm just like a very active person that I need to be doing like these crazy things.
Yeah, that's good though.
And I don't know. I just feel like yoga is like a little boring to me sometimes.
Right.
But I know I need it because it's like super good for your mental health, for stress and flexibility even. So
I know. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I bent down and get something in my closet yesterday, and I moved a little too fast going up, and I'm like, oh
you're
my
like,
god.
oh, what was that?
Oh man, something shifted.
That's age too. So.
I know. Don't tell me that. Dang. Yeah, I need to hit the gym tonight. This is definitely a good motivator. You're a great motivator. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, so what are you doing? Are you training people Monday through Friday, or how does that work?
Yeah, I typically train people Monday to Friday, sometimes on Saturdays as well. Even Sundays every now and then. It's very rare because I try not to work on Sundays, but sometimes that happens if people get too busy and that's the only day they can make it. But yeah.
And what's your schedule like on like is it a set 9 to 5, or people you kind of schedule weekly? How does that work?
So basically, I have like, I would say 2 jobs because in the mornings I work more on my personal business, which is my website and it's the Andifit Health. So I train a lot of people on my own in the mornings, and in the afternoons, that's when I go to this gym and I train more people there.
And are you training, or is this, you said you on your website, so you're going through like video communication? Or is this
Sometimes
in person?
both.
Okay,
I do both.
I
Yes.
see. Okay. Huh, that's cool. That's a
Yeah.
good schedule,
Yeah,
and
no, and I love it. People are like, oh, so you got to work at 7 a.m. or at 8 p.m. Honestly, I don't mind just because I
Right.
love it. And I love when I'm at the gym and I just feel it's like my safe area.
Yeah, gyms do that. They have that energy about them,
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I've been to gyms that I don't necessarily click with, and then I've been to gyms where it just feels like home.
Yeah.
And people such as yourself, personal trainers and people that are involved in that industry really tend to be welcoming, and that really affects the face of the gym.
So I think that's one of the main keys of this place that I train people at, this gym. If you go one day, you need to go.
Okay.
It's just the community there is just amazing. I think honestly, a lot of people they love training there because of that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it makes a big difference, and
Yeah.
and like I said, people that in your position and people such as yourself, they're always like real upbeat and motivating. I have one of my I used to do CrossFit back in
Okay.
the day, and I love CrossFit. Have you ever tried CrossFit?
I have, but just I think one time or something. One of my friends was like, she's a doctor.
Okay.
And she was like, you shouldn't do that. And I was like, why? And she always said, and I think that's why I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. Because she's like, they do things, but because they don't really care about the movement, they just care about the power and the speed, you might hurt yourself because they're not teaching you how to do the movement. They're just going for speed and power.
Right. And I think that goes back to per gym and who's coaching, because I had some amazing coaches. I mean,
Yeah,
they
probably so,
would
yeah.
never if your technique wasn't on point or correct, there's no way you're continuing. I mean, they're going to work with you one-on-one until you make sure that your form is right. Because
Yeah.
for one thing, yes, you are moving your body in these crazy ways and pushing it to the limit, but you could kind of scale that however you feel, But yeah, form definitely matters, and so yeah, I think it varies per gym and per coach too.
Yeah, well, I tend to focus a lot but like I think a lot, maybe too much sometimes in form.
Yeah, yeah. And it's good though, incorrect form can cause all kinds of weird things, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people get injured, and you don't want that. And
Right.
I don't know, you just don't want to. You also don't want to get sued.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
that's another reason why. But yeah, so that's one of the things. But I just prefer people doing the things the right way and not getting in this. Okay, I need to like lift this much weight, but
Right.
with horrible form, and then they cannot lift anymore.
Right. Yeah. There and yeah, you gotta be careful, and especially when it's that high intense. It's I mean there it's crazy in when you're getting in those gyms, but it's that goes all the way back to member like the members of the gym, giving support, and not pushing someone more than they could actually go. And
Yeah.
I think that that's the key, because everybody's different. There's some monsters out there,
Oh
like
yeah.
there's some just athletic beasts, and it's almost unearthly,
Yeah.
because I mean they're the people jumping like 70, 80 inches in the air and or more, and doing box jumps and these crazy deadlifts and I forgot the names of a lot of the movements because it's been a couple years, but but yeah, no, I love CrossFit. I would stand by that, but only if the gym and the members of the gym were worried about form, and the one in Beaumont, Texas. Shout out to CrossFit Beaumont because they are an amazing gym. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I came to Houston and I was like, I want to be a part of CrossFit over here, and I tried a couple of the gyms and they were less concerned about form and more concerned about just completion, just kind of do what you can. Let's get through this workout, rather than kind of giving support and kind of giving that little nudge to be better, but not pushing you to like hurt yourself or anything.
Yeah, I feel that tends to happen when gyms just have a lot of people.
And I think that's what it was. Yeah.
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 So they don't really care about checking and doing like a first assessment to people, which I think it's like a must for every gym. So where I'm at, it's just like more of like a small gym, and you need to basically have a personal trainer to get in. It's not like your typical gym where you would just go and do your own workout. Here you do need to have a personal trainer at least twice a week to get like a membership. So that makes my job easier too, because I
Sure.
don't have to be looking for clients.
Right.
But at the same time, you know that those people are actually wanting to learn.
Exactly.
So it's a good thing because for both sides, because they get a personal trainer that actually wants to get them better, and you can focus more on like making these assessments, knowing them. And that's a key thing. I always feel it. Get to know your client, know their fitness level, their experience, and build up from there. I think it's just every client needs that approach.
Yeah, and there's a lot of movements and a lot of different techniques that the average person doesn't know. So
Right.
they need people like you to kind of explain it and kind of maybe adjust the positioning in some ways, and maybe just they need that little extra push, like we were talking about. So that's why I think your job is really cool because, in a sense, health is the biggest thing in life. Health is huge.
Oh,
If you don't
yeah.
have health, then everything else just kind of falls.
Right.
So, there was a time where I was a bit lazier than I am now, and I look back and I'm just like, man, I wish I would have put it in gear a little bit more, because from a young age I've played football and things like that, and I was good at it. But then I got to high school and I had a little bug in my head, and I was like, man, forget this. I'm not doing this, and so I kind of let go of that. But I remember this one time I was on the field and I was running as fast as I could, and it was during a kickoff, and a guy caught the ball, and probably a second after he caught the ball, I had hit him, and I remember the buzzing of my head. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was concussed,
Oh, wow.
and it was terrible. And I kind of lost interest after that. I was like, I'm
Right,
just
right, right.
kind of destroying my body. So yeah, here we are podcasting. Yeah,
You're like, I need
something
to change to
safe.
something else, something
Yes.
safer. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's very cool. So what do you like about your job, and what do you like about what you do?
I think it's just seeing the impact that you can make on people's life. I just think it's really good. Like I've seen clients of mine that are like, okay, now I can actually lift things without pain. I can actually, especially like elderly people,
Right.
they're like, now I can play with my kids. Like, well, they're kids of their daughter or son
Right.
or whatever. And just that, I think it's really good. Or I think giving them motivation, I think that's one thing that, well, people tend to ask me, how do you get motivated to just train every day? Or how do you give your clients that motivation? And I just think, well, I think you cannot give anybody motivation.
Right.
I think you can unlock motivation. And that's a different thing. You can just help them get that motivation by doing these little steps, by just telling them little things they can do. As I just said in the beginning, it's just not focusing on like a big picture and just doing these crazy changes in your life, but it's about these little steps. In fact, there's this thing that is small wins equal big results. And yeah, it's just about giving them like maybe like a little task or something, and that is still achievable, but it's challenging for them. So I think that's one of the key things that I focus on, and my clients see that and they like that because they stay motivated because they're still doing something. I don't know, let's say, okay, I'm not telling them go run a 5K every day,
Right.
but let's say, I don't know, go walk 10 minutes every day. Can you do that? Yeah, that sounds easy. Okay, I'll do it every day.
Right.
And they still feel, okay, I'm achieving it and I'm doing it. So the next week, they're like, okay, I'm going to walk 20 minutes this time. And it's just an easy way that they don't really see, but they're getting that motivation on their own. So it's basically kind of like unlocking these motivations.
Right,
for
right,
people.
right. Man, yeah, and I like how you said small wins equal big results, and because all these small things they add up, and each day you increase and increase, or each week, and all of a sudden you're at this point way further than you were, when you started. And so
Exactly.
I think that build up and that kind of working up to a goal is a big, big and great idea, because I think that's what discourages people. They say, people are running 5Ks and they say, oh man, I could never do that. But reality is that they could if they take their small wins each day and work up to that point, or climbing a mountain, or a specific mountain, or skiing, or really any hobby. I know there was a point in time where I would look at somebody on a skateboard or like a longboard, and I would think, oh man, could never be me. I grew up
Yeah.
I grew up chunky, and so and yeah, there's no chance in anything I was going to hop on that skateboard and be good. But I grew up, I got in college, and each class that I was at was about a 15-minute walk, from one to the other. And so I didn't really have the time to walk across campus and make certain classes. So I ended up getting a longboard, and I kind of, I went through a couple falls and things like that, but I did work up to that, and now I could hop on a longboard and I'll be fine, So yeah, you can achieve goals if you take that small jump every day and make progress. And I think that doesn't just go for health, which is a very important one to pursue, but
Right.
also it goes for,
Everything.
everything,
Yeah, and I was about to say that. I think it's just everything. Like in the beginning, I honestly didn't like to meditate. I was like, I can't get focused, and my brain just goes everywhere. And I was like, okay, how can I do this in the same way I do fitness? And it's just, okay, I'm going to start with 5 minutes. So that's how I started. I mean, I started doing 5 minutes of meditation every day. And again, with everything, if you want to read, if you want to like whatever you want. I mean, I have clients now and they're like, oh, especially girls, for example, I cannot even do one push up. And I was like, I started there. Like I was there at some point, and that's what I tell them. And now I can probably do, I don't know, 20 or 25 and
Right.
with no issue. But it's just keeping that little by little steps and just building it, and just don't get frustrated, because when you start very big, you're always going to get frustrated.
Right. I think consistency is a very, very big one,
Yeah, I think consistency, and a lot of people think that motivation is the key. I think discipline is the key. And it's just, if you don't want to do it, do it.
Right.
You don't really need to think about it. It's just, I like, okay, you feel sad, go train. You feel angry, go train. You feel happy, go train.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't depend on your emotions or how you feel, because if you keep that momentum of like doing things the right way, then it's just going to become a habit to you. At this point, to me, working out or being healthy, it's just like taking a shower every day or brushing
Right.
my teeth
Yeah,
every
it
day.
seems to be just what you do,
Exactly.
It
If
is
I
what
don't do
is.
it, I just feel something's missing. Something's weird in my life. It's just, and I just feel kind of like I don't know, like weird, like with no energy, even like kind of like mad all day, just because I don't have those endorphins that come from working out.
Right. You said you like to read. Do you ever scroll on your phone very much?
Scroll on my phone for like,
Just to, like the whole the scrolling thing these days. Do you have TikTok?
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I always had TikTok. I just never used it. I actually just started using it like maybe like a month or two ago.
Ah.
And right when they announced that they might get rid of
My
TikTok.
bad, yeah. Honestly, that may have been a promotion, for them, kind of a promotional deal. Because honestly, I think a lot of people were like, oh, they're about to ban it. Like, let me
Yeah.
hop on here and see,
Honestly, because that would happen to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to do it. And I had some people telling me, you need to do TikTok because you
Yeah.
can get a
Are you
lot
doing
of.
that right now?
I'm doing that right now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I just, as I said, I just started like maybe a month or two ago.
Okay.
And it's been good. I just love it. And yeah, as you said, you can just scroll down for like hours there.
Hours. I know. I just recently got into this realm of podcasting and posting videos and kind of getting into the social media aspect of things. And I've realized that retention. It takes something to kind of grab people's attention and
Oh, yeah.
and grasp it to maintain the whole video. And I mean, there's a science to it.
Oh, yeah,
So
totally.
it's crazy. And just going from somebody who scrolls to posting things for people that scrolls is eye-opening, because you kind of realize like, oh, like I watch this channel because of this, I like how they do this and that's why I watch it. And I'm in the process of trying to turn that over to a product for me.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
and so yeah, and
For your podcast,
for
I
the
guess.
podcast, yeah,
Okay.
for this. And I'm not too sure how I'm going to angle it just yet, but we're making some moves and trying to see, how to promote better, and there's some difficulties in that, because like I said, there's so much on the internet and it's so condensed with all kinds of cool videos. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
anything that you want to see, you could YouTube or anything, any recipe you could look up
Yeah.
on Pinterest, anybody you want to see doing, physical activity training and things like that, they could do it, so how do you stand out, and how do you make things that people want to see, and it's a struggle. I think that's just kind of what goes back is to, you got to see what you like and what grabs your attention and kind of use that. So
Honestly, I think my best recommendation, and that's what I tend to do, just be yourself and just be honest.
Right.
That's the main thing for you. Because if you try to copy someone else, I think you're just gonna look fake, and
exactly.
people are not gonna believe in you. But if you're honest, I think that's what grabs attention.
yeah, and there's a couple cooking pages out there that I like to watch, and and they're doing exactly that. They're being honest, and they're cussing on the camera and being real vulgar,
And that
and
attracts
it
people
attracts people.
because
People
it's
love
like
it.
it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm following them. So it's definitely crazy what you could find on the internet. Um, so that's really cool. Are you on any other platforms besides TikTok and Instagram?
Mainly TikTok, Instagram. I also have my Facebook website and my own website.
Oh, okay, okay. And how are you running your website? Like, do people go on there and book appointments, or how does
Yeah.
that work?
Yeah, typically, well, honestly, I people that find me online is mainly through Instagram, and some of the people also from my website. That those are the main ones that where I get more clients from. And but mainly it's just people that already know me and they recommend me to someone else.
Word of
That's where I
mouth,
get
yeah.
more clients too.
Yeah, that's always good. You give people a good experience, and they're highly likely to say, "Hey, I went to her, and she's amazing. She helped me do this and this,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I could see how that could, attract people and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, w- um, what did you think when I messaged you? I'm like, hey, you want to be on the podcast?
I was like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's funny.
I've never had a message like that in the past. I typically get these like random companies trying to like make me, I don't know, like get their products for free and advertising them. I get a lot of that. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't even answer to those anymore. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just too much. And I get like messages asking me for my services, but you're the first one that comes to me. I'm like, hey, you want to be in my podcast?
Nice. I know. I found your business card at my favorite coffee shop, Catalina.
Okay.
And I was like, I saw your business card. I checked you out on Instagram, and I'm like, huh. I bet she would be a great guest, and you are. So
Thank you.
again, thank you for coming. Yeah, I'm really excited to chat with you and kind of get an idea of what it is to live a healthy lifestyle. And I like to be healthy myself, but I have a hard time explaining to people, the benefits without sounding like I'm trying to sell it, and you're amazing at it. So I guess that's why you do what you do, and
Well, to me, it's just my lifestyle already. And that's the way I approach to people. I don't see it as, okay, it's just something different that you got to be doing. It's just like, let's say you have a podcast. You can say you're a podcaster, even if you've done one episode or maybe 100, whatever
right.
that is. I feel anybody, let's say you want to be a runner or whatever it is, you need to have that mindset of you are already what you want to be and act like that. So you got to be like, okay, what's your ideal person that you want to be? What is that person doing? And what would that person do? And just do that in your own way, of course.
Right.
Just being yourself, but being that same person that you want to be and believing you are already that person. To me, that's the main thing. Because a lot of people go to me and they're like, oh, but I can't eat healthy, but I need to have like this food and these other things here. And I just don't see myself doing this or that. And it's just very, very difficult sometimes to get out of that mindset. I understand that totally. But you need to have that type of mindset of believing in yourself and that you are something. Because if you believe it, it's going to be easier for you to do it in the end.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think acceptance of who you want to become is huge, And honestly, I've struggled with that myself in many forms, not
We all have.
Yeah, and it's crazy how common it is. And I think that's just a human aspect of life, and
Yeah.
and we're living in this day and age where everything is so crazy. We drive in cars and we have we run businesses through websites and we have all this ability to communicate. And another downfall in I guess this current setup of life that we have, we have this whole scrolling era right now.
Yeah.
And people, I think another thing that kind of almost pulls people down and makes them not believe in themselves is because wrapping it back around to it takes like a small progress every day. Well, they're looking at these people that have already put the effort and progress in, so they're all the way up here, and so they're seeing videos and things like that where they feel like, oh, well, look how awesome these people are doing. Like, there's no way I could do that, because it's so far in the distance. But that's where the small increments of progress come in.
Exactly.
But yeah, this whole scrolling thing will do it to you, because even me, I'll scroll through and I'll find people with podcasts and their podcast is amazing and they hit all kinds of crazy topics. Come here, Larry. Yeah. He takes, you give him an inch, he'll take a mile.
I know.
You pet him and he's like, oh, let me hop up there.
I'm here.
But yeah, no, it definitely matters, and you can't get in your head. You just got to be your own person and make your own personal progress. You can't really depict and oh my God, sorry about that. Yeah, you could always just throw him down whenever he gets too much. But yeah, he'll stay there too. He loves people. But
and I love him.
Yeah, he's a sweetie. He loves.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. I mean, he doesn't know what.
So sweet.
He's been very socialized from a young age. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's crazy, So I guess the message to people is don't worry about what anybody else is doing, and you just focus on your own progress,
Yeah,
So,
because we'll tend to compare ourselves. I mean, it's a human thing to do.
yeah, right.
But just try not to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, try not to. It's definitely easy to get caught up in the loop.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what else is new in Houston? You just been pretty much staying on your tasks and staying busy with the job that you love, and you have you tried out any other gyms besides the one that you work at right now?
No, honestly, that's my I have a really good gym at my apartment.
Oh,
So
okay.
I work there and I train people there as well that live there.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw this place that I work out since I came here. That was one of the first gyms that I saw. And I just loved it. I fell in love with it. And I was like, I need to work here.
Right.
And yeah. And as soon as I got my green card, because I was in my green card process, I couldn't work at the beginning.
Right.
And as soon as I got it, I interviewed for them and they hired me, and I'm working for them now, and I just love it.
Wow, it's crazy how things work out, It's,
So it was perfect timing because I got my green card, and like a week later, they made these posts saying that they were looking for personal trainers. So I messaged the owner, and she told me, yeah, just come by. I want to interview you. And that's how it went. So I think it was kind of like a meant to be type thing.
Yeah. I agree. So were you doing personal training before you got to the gym?
Like on my own, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been doing that since. So I lived in London for about 3.5 years.
Oh, wow. How was that?
That was good. And I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it.
Oh, yeah.
So honestly, London is a great city as a tourist. It's so amazing. There's always things to do. The city is just pretty, beautiful. But living there, it's a little harder just because of the culture. And it's just cold and it's dark. Basically during winter time, around 4 p.m., it's already dark.
Wow.
And I thought it was a lie, and everybody was just exaggerating when they would say that you get depressed because of the lack of sun. Mm-hmm. And when I was there, I was like, okay, this is kind of true. I wouldn't say I was depressed or anything, but I definitely felt low sometimes just because I didn't have that lack of sun. I had that lack of sun, so that's where I started taking vitamin D to cope with that.
And that helped? Did you see some
I think
differences?
it helped, yes. But yeah, just the culture there is just different. I mean, even here in Houston, people are very nice. You can talk to anyone and they're going to talk to you. There, it's just different. It's just, and I don't think they're mean or anything. It's just the way they are. I think it's a problem of big cities because I think it's the same way in New York. And
yeah, I've heard that. I've never been.
And to a certain extent, I think Mexico City is like that too. And I was kind of used to that already, but there I think it was kind of worse, especially because I was by myself. And I didn't really have friends there or family or anything. So that was a big thing for me. And it was just, I was trying to meet people, I was going to school, I was learning things. But all the people that I met there were there just for like maybe 6 months, a year or something, and then they left. So that was kind of hard. And then I was there when COVID hit.
Oh, yeah. I bet that got weird for a minute, huh?
Oh, yeah. Especially there, it was not like here where everything was still like basically almost normal.
Yeah.
No, there you were not allowed to like leave your house unless you were going to the market, or you could only go out to the park to work out for like 1 hour. But that was pretty much it. And everything was slow, so there was no reason to go out.
Wow. So they were limiting the time outside at the park?
Yeah.
Holy cow. That seems inhumane, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
and
kind
the
of crazy.
city was like a ghost city.
Wow. And this is in Mexico City?
No, this is in London still.
In London. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is still London.
Wow. I can't believe that. Yeah. I never would have thought that they would have been limiting the time outside, you know? That's crazy. Well, speaking of parks, have you been to Memorial Park out here?
Yeah, I love
beautiful.
it.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything like that in London or Mexico
There's
City?
a ton of parks.
Really? Okay.
Both places, but especially London. London, that's one of the things I did like about there. There's a lot of greenery around. It's just very nice.
Okay. For some reason in my head, I was imagining it not being, but that's
No.
very
There
cool.
is a lot. Yeah. It's like New York City, and you think about like all the buildings, but they have parks everywhere.
Wow. Yeah. It's very. Come here, Larry. Come on, boy. Yeah. It's very necessary to have an outdoor space with, to kind of be connected to nature and have trees and sunlight and I can't imagine 4 o'clock it being dark already. That's hectic.
Terrible.
I know when they had the time change recently, because it was I think we've put an hour forward recently.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's one one or the other. I had a 50-50 chance right there, but yeah, it's I mean, when it gets dark in the evening early, it just feels funny. It doesn't feel right, but yeah, I guess it's just one of those things. It's a weird little planet, weird little rock that we live on.
No, for sure. Yeah, but sorry, going back to your question. Yeah, I started actually doing everything there. That's where I started like studying everything that I know of: personal training, health coach, nutrition coach, behavioral change coach, and
behavioral change coach. What does that entail?
So that's more of like a mindset approach to training and to nutrition and just to everything. I think it goes with everything you want to do. It's just more how to make your mind change and how to make others change what they believe, what they think, and the way they act. Yeah, so it's like a holistic approach. So it's just working on your mind, because a lot of people, they might want to train or they might want to be healthy, but their mind is what's not letting them do it.
Wow, I could probably benefit from that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Everyone.
yeah, everybody. Wow, that's crazy. So you said you're you just named off a bunch of stuff right there. Let's back it up. So you're a personal trainer, a fitness fitness instructor, a behavioral change coach.
Yes.
And what else?
Nutrition coach.
Nutrition coach. Okay.
Yes. And I'm also taking other certifications right now. Yeah.
Wow. What other certifications?
So I'm doing like a female fitness training. Training specifically for women.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm doing another one in Spanish, actually, that I started when I was in Mexico.
Ah.
And this is also like a holistic approach where it's more of like how your mind is connected to your body and how your thoughts affect the way you look, the way you eat, and even your ill, like if you feel sick or any type of like long-term diseases that come from mainly stress, which is cortisol in your body.
So what are some good techniques besides like meditation and things like that to kind of align these chakras and kind of align the mind and the body together? Like, I mean, are there natural things that you would suggest like intaking? I know some people suggest like they say cayenne peppers real good to add, to for things. And I mean, is there any insight on that?
Well, outside of the nutrition part, I'm not sure if you heard about the blue zones.
The blue zones.
So the blue zones are these areas that they've found throughout the entire world where people live longer. So they have these rates of people that are like older, and it's just normal there. And they made a huge study on why was that. And all of them, one of the main things that they would do is that they would have like a big community. They would always be around other people. And I think that's a big thing for health. Yeah, so it's just very interesting to see how that community, that sense of community in people help them just live longer because they're happier. They're not having that much stress. They were probably not eating the healthiest because some of those areas, they're not probably having the perfect diet. And a lot of them were like maybe drinking because of that social approach.
Right.
But just the fact of having that community would help a lot.
It's definitely the Irish. The Irish got us beat all. They're drinking and they're partying. They're living life. They're happy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of the blue zones, but that's definitely something to look into. I know that of health in general is kind of getting broken down into a deeper perspective as to the toxic items that we're ingesting with healthy food these days. Because I know that they have the organic and then they have the regular food, fruit, vegetables, and things like that. I think organic is only topically sprayed with pesticides and insecticides, whereas they actually churn this up in the soil for regular items such as like carrots and cabbage and things like that. So do you when you approach your eating, are you veering away from drinking out of like plastic bottles? I know microplastics are kind of a big topic of discussion lately, as far as like toxicity and it affecting hormone levels and kind of adjusting in a sense your body's different like ways of functioning and things like that. So are you veering away from like microplastics and different items that are grown in specific ways?
Yeah, definitely. That's something that I do try. Probably not 100% because that would be super hard to do.
It's so hard, yeah.
But yeah, I tend to try even these plastics that say BPA free. Yes, they are BPA free, but they might have other things that are just going into your body. And a huge one that a lot of people don't realize is the cutting boards. And the cutting boards, they like if you use plastic, imagine you're just using that knife and cutting part of those little plastics, and those are going into your food,
right? And
you're eating them. And there's a lot of people that believe that wood is better, but it's actually not.
Oh, how come?
Wood is also, I mean, you also cut it, and wood stores a lot of germs as well.
Oh.
So it's also not really good. One of my friends was telling me all this just because I posted something I guess like a month ago, and she's like a specialist in this subject. And she was, because I was like, well, so then what's the good thing? Because now everything is bad.
Yeah, yeah. I can't use a plastic, can't use the wood. So what other option is there?
Yeah, she told me the name of this. I just forgot right now, but it's I can tell you later. But it's like polyethylene.
Oh, polyethylene.
I think that's the name. Yes.
Maybe I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Let me see. I have a little search engine right here. I wish I had a guy that I could be like, hey, search this up. But
AI.
Yeah, exactly. I have.
So yeah, according to her, that's right now, the best thing to use. You still have to clean it every month with alcohol and other stuff. So, but that's the best thing for now. So all those things go into your body, and you're not realizing it. Even toothpaste, I don't use your normal toothpaste because you always like you're eating maybe 2 to 5% of that toothpaste every time you brush your teeth. So you gotta go to more natural kind of toothpaste.
Yeah, I know.
too.
I know some of them are heavily treated with like fluoride and things like that,
Yeah,
and
a
yeah,
lot of chemicals.
and I heard that was actually toxic. You know, a low
Yes.
level of a toxic substance. You know,
Yes.
and it's crazy. I mean, we can't break away from it. You know, I mean, there's so much stuff embedded and layered through all these products that we
Yeah.
ingest and come in contact with, even like topical creams.
Yeah,
You know,
everything.
I
And
mean,
just
it's crazy.
people get overwhelmed because it's like, well, now I cannot eat anything, I cannot wear anything, and what do I do now? And well, at least for food, there is also, I'm like, okay, you don't need to buy everything organic. You don't need to do that. But I would say there is this list, you can just research that online as well, and it's called the Dirty Dozen. And that list, they keeps on changing, but it's typically like, I think they just change it like every year or something, but it's pretty much the same stuff every year. And that list is basically the products that you do need to get organic. And that's because those are the ones that absorb more chemicals than others. And those are typically the ones that you're gonna eat the skin, like let's say an avocado or a banana. You're not eating the skin, so that you don't need to get organic. Because even if it's absorbing those chemicals, you're not eating the part that is outside. But the worst, there are maybe like berries or apples. Those are the ones that you do need to get organic. Or like green leaves and those kind of things that you eat them like that.
Right. Isn't that crazy that, I mean, literally everything seems to be chalked with something.
Oh, yeah.
You could correct me if I'm wrong. You probably know more than me about this, but I do believe that organic is only a topical spray. And so the best way to ingest anything organic is you just wash it on the outside with I think maybe some type of vinegar, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the organic is more because it's not treated and they don't grow it with these old chemicals and pesticides. They grow it with more like natural stuff and these organic products that they use. That's the difference between both. You still need to wash it before you eat it.
Sure, yeah.
But
Yeah, I used to work at a rice farm.
okay.
And we would do research, like molecular research on different types of grains and what genes have the qualities that farmers want and what makes it grow faster and taller and stronger and maximizes output, what grows better and quicker. So yeah,
Does that include a lot of chemicals?
it includes so much
Yeah,
chemicals.
for sure.
I mean, as far as the growing of it, I would be out there every day with a, work shirt, jeans, and boots on, just like spraying these fields, and I mean, I would have a big like N92 mask on, and
But then you're eating that. I
and
mean,
then, yeah, I mean it's
doesn't make
crazy.
sense.
It's crazy how these companies kind of adjust the process according, to kind of maximize output and kind of mass produce these products that people
Yeah.
eat, But yeah, life is crazy, I mean, like, it almost seems to be at a point where we can't stop it, we can't, I mean, it's too far gone at this point. So, that goes back to it being important that we have people like you to kind of help guide people to the path of least resistance in a sense, and what causes the least amount of problems for your body and what's the healthiest choice. So yeah, that's why I wanted you to be a guest here, is to kind of help explain these health choices and help people realize that everything out there, even though it's produced and even though there's not age limits on Cheetos or things like that, you don't have to show an ID to get these things, they're still causing problems. I mean, you need an ID to buy cigarettes, and cigarettes are not healthy, but neither are Cheetos, neither are Coca-Colas. I mean, neither is this Red Bull. I mean, now that I finished it, let's go ahead and take a look. So 38 grams of sugar
Oh wow.
per serving size. I mean, it's per can, but 38 grams is a lot, you know?
So you know what's like the amount of sugar that a person has to eat a day at the most?
It's probably less than 38.
It's 40.
40? Yeah,
20,
so
20 to 40 depending on your goals, but 20
all right,
to 40.
folks. So if you drink Red Bull, you could only have one a day and no food or nothing else.
No,
One Red
nothing
Bull and
else.
one water.
Not even fruit.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I mean, and that goes back to my thought. You don't need an ID to buy this, you know?
Exactly.
And I mean, that's a, you know, people say, oh, you know, there's a limit to cigarettes, you know, or nicotine products because it's addictive and you know, it's causes harm, and you know, you may not be old enough to make that decision for yourself to you know, ingest something that is carcinogenic, but people are eating these crazy foods that are packed with sugar and
Exactly.
things from a
Yeah.
very young age, and it's become more common, you know. I mean, all these companies are supposed to be, you know, they're innocent, but you know, in theory, it's damaging, you know. So
And you know, I'm glad you touched on this because you know there's actually a lot of research and a lot of studies that have proved that sugar is more addictive than many drugs, including cocaine.
isn't that crazy? I think they actually did an experiment with mice at one point and had blocks of sugar and I think blocks of like cocaine, and I think the mouse went to
Yeah.
the sugar every time. You know?
Yeah, and
I
it's
mean,
legal.
How it's legal, and how can you not? I mean, it's just this happy little square of
Right.
of flavor that's sweet. It's so sweet. I mean, you know, like what else would you want? You know,
Yeah.
besides something that tastes fantastic.
So that's why when people ask me, so what's one thing you would get rid of in anybody's diet? Sugar.
sugar.
Just get rid of sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still eat fruits or something. And there is this concept or a misconception that says, okay, fruits and vegetables are healthy. I would say start with the vegetables and then the fruits. Because the fruits, yeah, they're healthy, but they still have a lot of sugar. They have fiber, they have vitamins, they have minerals and all that stuff, but they still have a lot of sugar. So you need to portion whatever kind of fruits you're taking.
Yeah, too much could put you over the edge, you know. If the
Exactly.
limit
They're like,
is
okay,
only 40 grams, you know.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm eating so healthy because I eat fruits
Right.
at every meal. And then people don't realize how much sugar they're getting into their diets.
It's so crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I think awareness is key, you know, especially when we're talking about people's health. You know, awareness is a very big thing when it comes to eating habits and daily life, you know. And I think that you hit a lot of topics on the head perfectly because, you know, I feel like you helped spread awareness of, you know, the good and the bad and misconceptions and things like that. So yeah, it's very important. The eating habits is very important. And I think sugar is carcinogenic also, you know, I
Yeah.
think it's causing all these health problems, and not just diabetes, but cancer, you know.
Heart
and-
diseases.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another misconception. A lot of people think that saturated fats are bad. And there's actually a lot of research that there's no relation between any type of heart disease and saturated fats. It's the sugar that is what's going into your body and it's causing those issues.
Man, sugar's definitely a drug.
It
you know,
is.
it's
It is.
definitely one of the hardest drugs. You go through Dairy Queen. I mean, have you been to Dairy Queen?
Oh, yes, I love it.
Oh man, you go through Dairy Queen and you walk or you know, you're in line in the drive-through because, you know, we're lazy and we don't want to get out. But you're in the drive-through, you order a Blizzard. Every car, they're sticking their hand out the window, they're testing the Blizzard, giving it to the people, and I mean, they're grabbing that spoon as soon as it goes through that
Oh,
car
yeah.
window. You know, so I'm only
one of my
speaking
cheat
for you.
meals.
Oh my God. Yeah, they have a chocolate brownie extreme Blizzard.
Oh, my God. I need
my
to try that
God.
one.
I love chocolate.
No, thank you.
I love chocolate so much.
Me too.
Yeah, it's definitely It's definitely my cocaine. I'll put down some chocolate. Dang, we're over here talking about food again. There's a good ice cream. It's like a food truck, but it's like an ice cream truck right here off of Washington Street, and it's called Cheater's Creamery, and it's the bomb. It's the bomb. Yeah, they have this churro ice cream.
Oh my God! Don't
my
tell me
God.
about churros.
It is amazing. Yeah.
So that's like two of my my main things like that I love the most combined into one.
Churros and ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah.
They execute it well. It's a fantastic. If you have a cheat meal, I guess that's why they call it cheaters. If when you're having a cheat meal, you gotta go get you some ice cream. But
I just found out today that they also have some Oreos that are churro flavor.
Ooh, what?
I need to try it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't keep that in the house. I can't.
No,
I don't even
same
buy
here.
it. Yeah, I don't even buy it because I'll sit down and I'll eat the whole thing. You know,
Oh, yeah.
and especially if I have like a glass of milk. Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Perfect combination.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love food.
I can see.
So, tell me the story about how long did you have your card there at Catalina?
Ooh, I think it's been there for about 3 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a pretty big selection, you know, and I kind of flipped through on them, and I had one. Well, actually, you are the second person that I've had on from the coffee shop. So
Nice.
yeah, the first one I had was, her name is Muka. She's a painter. She does all kinds of amazing work and things like that.
Okay.
If you hear that in the background, Larry actually took my cap from my water, and he's having the best day of his life back there. But
We can all hear that.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's crazy how things work out. I'm glad I come across your business card, and I think you're doing some really amazing things in the fitness industry, and I think that you have a good direction of who you are and what you do, you know, and you help people and kind of give them direction. And I am gonna try to start. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna try. I actually started eating healthy today. The past.
Not that Red Bull.
Oh no!
You just ruined it.
I know. Gosh.
Okay, tomorrow.
Dang. I gotta start tomorrow. You're so right. That Red Bull came. You did say you were gonna bring that Red Bull up, and
I did
yeah.
say. I warned you.
Dang, I can't believe that. But yeah, no. No sugar. We're gonna start. I'll tell you. I'll start watching my sugar intake. It's definitely a problem.
It's a good start.
Yeah, I mean, because you feed your body with cells. You're intaking all these cells, and it causes so many issues. You know,
Yeah.
at the cellular level, and how your body kind of reacts. I know if I eat greasy foods, my face starts breaking out, and it's just a bad time. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely have to watch my intake and what I put in my body.
Yeah, especially with sugars. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just if you see, it's just empty calories, and sugar or any kind of like carbs, sorry, is going to be good for you, and they're not going to make you feel full, so you're going to be hungry very quick.
Yeah. I also love Reese's.
Okay, we're taking those
Yeah.
out of your diet. too.
Yeah, I know. No Reese's. That's I tell you what, as long as I have cheese in my life, I'm fine. I could do without the Snickers and the Reese's and the Red Bulls. But man,
Sugar-free Red Bull. I mean, I know sugar-free is not a good thing either because
Yeah.
it's like
I
all
almost
these
got the
sweeteners.
sugar-free today too.
But at least it's better. I'm like, I don't think you need to be perfect because there's a lot of people outside that say you shouldn't drink anything that has like all these sweeteners either. I think every now and then it's fine. I don't think it should be, unless you feel bad with them. But if you don't, it's better than just something with so much sugar.
Yeah. No sugar, guys. No sugar and no Cheetos for the kiddos, okay? Well, where can people find you at on social media?
Well, mainly in Instagram.
Okay.
It's Andy _fit health. And yeah, that's mainly all my social media. That's same name in TikTok.
Okay. And your website is what now?
So that's Andy score. Is it score?
Yes,
Like the
underscore.
middle one. Just the middle one.
I think that's a dash.
Oh, that's a dash.
Yeah.
The dash
yeah.
is not the one that is like this.
No, that's a. Oh, dang it! Now I'm confused. Now, let me see.
Okay, I don't feel so bad now. For
Yeah.
now.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a. I don't know why my little search engine is not working today, but yeah, I would say I think that's a dash.
So then it's
Or
gonna
is
be
it a
andy-fithealth.com.
Okay. Dash. Yeah. So Andy-fithealth.com.
Yes.
Okay, and people could go there for appointments and
Yes.
and things like that, and you do both.
And I have a lot of like written stuff there. A lot of I have
of
like a
knowledge,
section.
yeah.
Yeah. And recipes. I have a lot of recipes there too.
Oh, you do recipes.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Everything healthy.
Ooh. Any like spaghetti squash?
Yes, there is.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love spaghetti.
Me
So
too.
I have to swap the actual spaghetti
Yeah.
out with the spaghetti squash. But I love it. It's the best. It's probably my
yeah.
favorite healthy meal, you know.
Yeah.
Or let's see, what's another one? Butternut squash lasagna.
Okay.
Oh, I think I made one of that one time and it was amazing.
I think I made it a long time ago too.
Yeah, there was another Pinterest recipe.
I think so, yeah.
God, yeah. Healthy food's good, and I think another point you may agree or disagree with me, but I think switching up your plates, making sure that you're spicing things up, so you
Exactly.
don't get bored and you could kind of continue on a path of eating healthy. A key component in that is kind of getting a diverse menu for the week.
And there's so many recipes out there that are healthy, and they take you like not a long time to make them.
Right. Yeah. And they have air fryers these days, which
Yeah.
I love so much. I love my air
Me
fryer.
too.
But yeah, things are being healthy is less actually. It's more convenient than people realize.
Yeah, people think it's very complicated.
Right.
And you can make it as complicated as you want, yes, but
Right.
it can be very easy too.
Right. Do you have any tips before we end this bad boy on good like budgeting menu recipes? Do you have like a budget friendly recipe on your website or anything?
Oh, I think almost all of them are budget friendly. You can use whatever you have.
Right.
I have a little bit of everything. I have like smoothies.
I love me some
Those
smoothies.
always save you when you're like on a rush. Or
What is it?
whatever. The smoothies.
Okay.
They always save you when you're on a rush. And I think I have the air fryer fries.
Oh.
Yeah, like French fries.
Yeah.
Or sweet potato fries as well. Yes, and just using vegetables, using whatever you have. There's a lot around that you can see.
Well, very cool. Well, Miss Andy, thank you for coming, and I'll be sure to I'll tag your Instagram and on our post, and yeah, I really appreciate you for coming today, and yeah, well, we may have to run this back once you make more progress in your field. So
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me, and I'm so glad that I got to meet you.
awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
No, thank you.
All right.